Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm watching all the names. Hi, Mel and Jenny and Jared, Beth. Oh my gosh, it's moving very fast. Dana, Kelly, thank you so much for being here at our second show. And we have an even better one today than we had last time. So we're really glad you're here and so thankful for you. So let's just go over really quickly sort of the way this is going to go. Be sure to register your name here so you can join the conversation. That's all you need to do. You don't need to add your email or account or anything like that. That's just so that you can communicate with each other and then you can communicate with our moderators. Speaking of our moderators, we have our amazing bestie, Morgan, who is our longtime florist for 10 years here in the room with us today. Wow. She is here moderating with us. And then Nicholas is moderating from Connecticut. We've got Ryan and we've got Jenny. So we've got a whole team here to help support this and make it wonderful for you. So first thing is join the conversation. The second thing is, and I know last week you all probably remember, but what we'll do is I'll introduce the roses and then we're going to do a little countdown. Jenny will pin it and then that's your opportunity to go and purchase the rose. Make sure for the roses that are very limited, which are not the ones you see pinned here already. So we have Frances Mayon pinned and we have Raspberry Cupcake pinned. Those you have the duration of the show to purchase, although there is still a finite amount. However, the ones that are going to be like very limited, you want to make sure you check out right away. And they are shipped one per box. So there's no combined shipping on them anyway for those. They are estate roses. So that's really important. And remember, Nicholas and Morgan are here to help you out if you have any questions. The checkout reminder, basically, again, just make sure you check out before the end of the show. If it's like one of our bouquets or Frances Mayon or Raspberry Cupcake, because that pricing will go up to the regular pricing when the show is over. And just another quick thing is that everything is buy now, ship now. So if you bought roses last week on Thursday's show, we got those shipped out on Monday. And people are starting to receive them now or already have received them. So that's the same with this show. We might get some of these shipped Friday, but most likely they will be shipped out Monday. You will get confirmation from us and you'll get to be able to track your UPS tracking number. So same as always, as well as the cut roses. The cut roses are also buy now, ship now, unless you do not want them shipped tomorrow or Saturday for Monday or Tuesday arrival. You need to let our moderators or customer service know, and you can schedule them out 30 days to receive that pricing. But they are also buy now, ship now, and they are free shipping for the cut roses. And we'll talk about the cut roses in a little bit. So there are 4 items that are already pinned. We have our bouquets and we have 2 rose bushes. Those are pinned. You can already start shopping those if they're of interest to you. So you just click the shopping tab and there you go. All right, let's see what we have. Okay, we have 3 $1 segments and we upped our game this week with more $1 roses per segment. So I know they went really fast, but there's actually a really generous amount of $1 roses. I chose a climber and a shrub, and then we have a non-rose item for $1. So it's not a rose. So you'll see. You will see. So we have 3 segments for that, 3 different opportunities to get a $1 rose. So that's really exciting. And then the most important thing all of you want to know is that most of the roses today, when you see them in an estate pot, so this is a 2-gallon pot, when you see the estate pot, those came directly out of Ryan's and my garden. So those are roses that we had here at our home. We had them dug up when we decided that we were going to sell this property, and they were sent over to the nursery, potted up, and now they're ready to go to new homes. So all of the roses, unless otherwise noted, came directly out of our garden. And so they are from my private collection. You know, there are roses that were well cared for by Fermin and Leo. There are roses that were fed organically and sprayed organically and loved. And I'm so happy that you get to be the people to love these roses next, because they literally came right out of my garden. If you came to our soiree, these are the roses that you're purchasing, the roses you saw in that massive rose garden. So with that said, we have some florist roses today. So I want to talk quickly about the florist roses. Any of the florist roses that we are selling today are roses that are officially discontinued from Grace Rose Farm, meaning we are not propagating those roses anymore. We are not growing those roses for our customer base anymore. We are literally just selling off the mother plants that were here at my home. So there are a few of each, very small quantities, but they're plants that are officially discontinued from Grace Rose Farm. And so we're just giving you guys the opportunity to take these plants home, since they serve no purpose anymore for our business, since we have discontinued them, retired them. They're great roses. We've just moved on to new roses. We talk about that all the time. So we have Unforgettable, we have Bloomsbury, we have Royal Park, and somehow, some way, I found more J'adore. I don't know how, but I did. We also have the return of another Evelyn. Again, don't know how, don't know where, it just happened. So we found another Evelyn. We have Bosco Bell, we have Frances Mayon, and we have so many more. We have like 29 varieties of roses and hundreds of roses within those 29 varieties. So lots of chances, and we're so excited. So let's get started with the first rose. And here it is. So you guys know that Frances Mayon is one of my most favorite roses of all time, right? We have been growing this rose since 2015. And what this rose represents right here is a really great opportunity that Heidi Mortensen, our horticulturist, got for us this spring. So Heidi contacted our supplier, our Better Bare Root grower, and our supplier at Star Roses and Plants, and was able to get these incredible 2-year-old grafted bare root roses. We had them planted up in these 2-gallon containers around February, I believe, and now they're ready to go to you. So you can see that, like, basically the only difference between this rose and one of our estate Frances Mayons is that the estate roses are in the deeper can, like the 12-inch can. This is in the like 9-inch can. That's the only difference. So the reason we did this is to be able to offer the plant at a less price for you, a lower price. So it has less soil volume, it's lighter weight. We can ship it in our 2-gallon box, which means we save money and you save money. So, but it is the exact same age as our estate Frances Mayon roses that are on our website right now and all the time. So same age rose, 2-year budded on Dr. Huey, grown by our Better Bare Root grower up in Central California. And we're so grateful to Heidi, who got us an incredible deal with Star Roses and Plants to be able to offer this rose. So that's what this is. It is Frances Mayon. It is the same age as our estates, but it is in a 2-gallon, and it is buy now, ship now. You guys know I love this rose. Ryan and I used to grow hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands. I think we grew maybe around 1,000. So it's already pinned on the screen. You can shop for this rose the entire duration of the show. assuming it doesn't sell out, but we do have a lot, and it is in our 2-gallon container, and it'll ship in our 2-gallon box, which is less cost in shipping for you and for us. So that's Frances Mayond, and we are so appreciative for everyone that is purchasing this rose. This is like a Grace Rose Farm basic, right? Like this is a rose that like we will always grow, we will always love. It makes an incredible cut flower. In fact, in Europe, this rose in the cut flower greenhouses is called Prince Jardinier. And so it is a wonderful cut rose. In the garden, it's called Frances Mayond. In the greenhouse, it's called Prince Jardinier. And it is an incredible rose. So it will be hardy for you and a wonderful producer. So really exciting. Yes, great for zone 10B. Colleen says it's a Grace Rose Farm staple. It is. It's just like one of those roses that's never going to go away. We're always going to offer it. It's just an incredible rose. It does have to be budded. It's not a rose that likes to grow on its own roots very well. So it's one of those. All right. What do we think about Frances Mayond? Continuous bloomer. The image is blurry. Let me move forward a little bit. Yes, Frances Mayond is very, very, very fragrant, and it is hardy down to zone 6, just so you guys know. And it is a budded rose, but it is hardy down to zone 6. There she is. And she is on sale. She will go up in price as soon as the show ends. I don't know what that price is. I think that's a Heidi and a Jenny thing, but for the show, it is $59. So, and it's a 2-year-old budded rose grown by our Better Bare Root grower and then planted by our nursery partners here in California and grown out for you. And you can see that it is like an absolutely huge, gigantic rose. So that's what you'll be getting from Frances Mayond. And let's move on to the next one. Yes, 8 feet tall in San Diego. Easily. Yes, it happens. I know. It's a big plant. It's an incredibly big plant. So. All right. Lesser known rose, but an equally amazing rose. And it's a very different rose than Frances Mayond. Frances Mayond is a big hybrid tea. It's a rose that is like the king of the garden, right? Like it has the stature, it has these huge flowers. It is definitely known to be a cut rose. So yes, it looks great in the garden, but it's wonderful for cut flowers and making bouquets. In fact, Ryan and I grew it, obviously, for florists. This is a different type of rose. So this is a Cortez rose, bred in Germany. And one of the really, really, really amazing things about Cortez roses is that they are bred to not require pesticides. In case you're not familiar, in Germany banned pesticide use many, many moons ago. And so the Germans, including Cortez, the Cortez family, they breed roses that are biologically healthy and do not require pesticide use. Now, that is not like a hard and fast rule, but in general, especially if you're a rose lover and you're here, you know that the Cortez roses are extremely disease resistant. Raspberry Cupcake is no exception to that rule. Raspberry Cupcake is an own root rose. So this is a own root input into the Better Bare Root growers field in California. It was raised for a year and then pulled out and potted up. Let me just show you how big it is next to me, just so you can see. And it is also in our 2-gallon. Now, one thing you're going to notice a lot about Raspberry Cupcake is that it's very bushy. This is a bushy rose. And I believe it's classified, I think it's classified as a hybrid tea or a brandy. But to me, it's very much a shrub rose. And remember, all those classifications are like literally marketing. It's a marketing name, right? To me, this is very much a shrub rose. In my garden, it is so full. It keeps its foliage all the way to the bottom of the plant, which is really important for like landscaping, right? You don't want roses like in your landscape or in your front yard where people see that have like the naked legs. Raspberry Cupcake is one of those roses that is the perfect shrub all the way around, full of foliage and just absolutely beautiful. And it's a really pretty plant, even if it's not in flower, although it goes in and out of flower really, really fast. Raspberry Cupcake has a beautiful ombre bloom. These are its summer blooms, so they're not as beautiful than as they would be like in cooler spring or fall weather, but it's incredibly fragrant, and it is a cool toned mauve sort of mauve to pink, but it definitely leans on the cool tone. The photos that you see, that's me holding a giant bouquet. It has like a lighter outer area and it gets more saturated into the middle, which is a little bit different than other roses where they're like darker and then they go lighter in the middle. This is opposite. It's darkest in the middle and fades out to the lighter. I love this rose. For me, it is no spray. It's also an amazing cut flower. So it's one of those roses that is great in the garden because it is a shrub. It holds its foliage. It just is a pretty plant. It's a nice rounded plant, but it also is an amazing cut flower. And one of the things that I've noticed about this rose is that in our garden, you know, a lot of roses, they tend to throw blooms up at the top. This rose will send out shoots and stems all around the plant. So when I would be harvesting roses, like the bouquet that I'm holding in that photo of the product here that's pinned, you can harvest from this plant all the way around the bottom and the top and the inside. Like it's one of those roses that blooms in all directions. So it's truly like you see flowers all the way around the plant, not just at the top. So I love this rose. It smells great. It's low maintenance, easy to grow. It's beautiful in the landscape. I know that some of our like rosarians that are consulting rosarians, they swear by this rose too. And it's also hardy down to zone 6 and up to 10. And it is own root. All Raspberry Cupcake roses are own root roses, meaning their roots are the same variety as their tops. Opposite of Francis, which is a budded rose, that it has rootstock. But I love this rose. It's an incredible price to try it. It's also one of those roses that grows really beautifully in mass. So if you want to have 3 or 5 or 7, this is one that looks really pretty grown in mass. So that's Raspberry Cupcake. It'll be available for the whole show unless it sells out. And again, thank you to Heidi, our horticulturist and star. All right. This is a newer acquisition for me. So I do not have quite the breadth of knowledge of this rose as I do of some of the other ones, but this rose is called Bring Me Sunshine, and it is a newer rose from David Austin. I believe it came out 2 years ago. And welcome to anybody who just got here. Please join the conversation and communicate with us, our moderators, each other, have fun. So Bring Me Sunshine is an incredible newer rose from David Austin. And it's one of those really, really happy-go-lucky, always blooming. And it is like the perfect buttery yellow tone. It is hardy from 5 to 11. And I can't tell you for sure if this is a budded or an own root rose. That's not information that we get from our supplier on the David Austin roses. So I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that it's 5 through 11. And this rose was dug up from my garden. It was only planted in my garden in early 2024. So it's a newer variety to me. And then we obviously had it dug up here in late 2025, early 2026. So it's a newer rose. It's really sweet, really happy. And I love the name. And I just want to take this moment, since this is our first David Austin rose, we, like all of you, received that really sad notice that David had passed away over the weekend. David was a wonderful man. I met him multiple times at different conferences that we went to. The kindest, most gentle, soft-spoken, sweet man, truly loves roses, just like his father, and a great leader for the David Austin brand. We're really fortunate to be like authorized David Austin sellers and partners with them, and to be able to bring their roses to you. And I just wanted to share in everybody's voice here at Grace Rose Farm. And I know you all share the same sentiment that we will miss David. And but I'm so glad that his children have come into the business and are going to be leading the business. I had an opportunity to meet Olivia, and I also met his son as well. And James, and they are wonderful, wonderful people. And I have no doubt that they are going to carry on the legacy in both their grandfather and their father's name. So just wanted to make that note while we're looking at Bring Me Sunshine. So we're going to count down and we'll pin it now. So this is Bring Me Sunshine, a newer David Austin. I had it in my garden about 2 years. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here it is. And it is a estate rose. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. It's a heavy one. It is a heavy, heavy one. This rose does stay more compact, just so you know. So you're not seeing a huge, massive rose on this one. It stays more compact. In my garden, it was like, I don't know. In my garden, it was like 3. Let's just take a little backtrack on this rose. So most of you know that I have been growing Pope John Paul rose for a very, very long time. And thank you to everyone who got Bring Me Sunshine. They sold out very fast. So Pope John Paul rose. So you have not seen Grace Rose Farm offer this rose in the last couple of years because it was still under patent and we weren't able to sell it on our e-commerce site. However, you also know that I have been growing Pope John Paul for a very, very long time. And here it is. So this is one of my huge Pope John Paul roses. And we have a nice amount of these for you this week. And we may have them again. Just so you guys don't worry, these were not dug out of my front yard. So we are selling our home and we have left all the Pope John Pauls in front of our home, but we had Pope John Paul in the side garden next to Francis Mayond, and these are those plants. So these are the ones that came out of the actual rose garden, and I'm so excited to be able to offer them. It is hardy zones 5 through 9, although I've grown it just fine in 10, but I have to put that out there. Let me tell you about this rose. So this rose is a heat lover. This rose does so well in the sun and the heat. It shines. When it is hot, this rose just goes bananas. It loves to grow. It has the most beautiful red foliage when the foliage first starts. Obviously, it turns green with age. And the best thing about this rose is its fragrance. This rose is known for its citrusy, bright, oh my gosh, let me put my nose in it. Citrusy, bright, grapefruit fragrance. And right now, this is the only opportunity for us to offer Pope John Paul for you because we are not in future years that we'll be able to offer this rose again. But I don't know that. So for now, we have lots out of my garden. And if you miss it today, it should be back. I should have another dozen or two in a future show. So we'll see. But these are from our rose garden. And if we're all ready, we'll count down and we have a nice amount for you. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's available. And here it is. And it is a big, beautiful rose. This one's loaded in buds. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, about 20 buds on this one. Crazy. And this is right out of my... I believe these are budded roses, Pope John Paul. That's my knowledge, is that they're budded. So I can't tell you that they're en route. Yes, so Dell says hers had over 35 buds the other day. I know. This rose loves to bloom. Pope John Paul is an incredible bloomer, just an amazing, amazing, amazing bloomer. So there it is, Pope John Paul. And you know I'm going to be planting Pope John Paul again at our new house. For sure, no doubt about it. So yeah, that's Pope John Paul. They say Pope John Paul is gorgeous. Vanna got Stephen Rulu from us, and it is fabulous. Thank you. No, It is not a picky rose, Pope John Paul. And it's sold out. And we had so many. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you guys are getting these in your garden from my garden. And you know, if you've been around here for a while, Ryan and I have been growing that rose over a decade. We had moved our Pope John Paul roses multiple times, not the ones that you just got, but our roses in front of our house. We moved them multiple times from one property to the next, to the next, to the next. And we decided to leave them finally here. But it's an incredible rose and I will always grow it. So there you go. So excited. I'm so excited for those of you that got that rose. It's so beautiful. Nothing like it. I actually cut a big bouquet of Pope John Paul for Morgan's wedding last weekend. And did it smell good? She's saying yep, yep. So yay. Okay. All right. We have another tried and true. Here it is. And it is a Cortez rose. She's a big girl. And I think some of you are going to recognize her. It is Savannah. So let's talk about Savannah for a minute. Sunbelt Savannah. So when you see the word Sunbelt in front of a Cortez rose, it means it was bred for the hot states, right? Of course, it can be grown in the cooler states, but it is bred for heat. It is bred to still churn out the flowers and have that beautiful fragrance and beautiful form, even in the hot Sunbelt states. This rose loves heat. It is just one of those high performers. Let's get the pertinent information out of the way real fast. These are all own root. This rose is grown own root only, and this rose was grown by our Better Bare Root grower. So the same grower that you purchased bare roots from us, this rose was grown by, although it's older, it's 2 years older now, 2 to 3 years older. And it is in an estate pot, and it is hardy from zones 5 through 9, 5 to 9. Okay, let me tell you about this rose. So I think some of you are going to remember this story, but I last summer had beautiful bouquets that I had brought in from the farm, like with Juliet and Hitomi and some of the other cut roses from our cut flower farm. And I cut a bunch of Savannah, and I put Savannah in with the greenhouse grown roses like Juliet. Savannah lived as long as the greenhouse roses, and in some cases even longer. This rose has incredible vase life. Like it might as well be a florist rose because of its vase life. It's so incredible. And one of the things I love the most about this rose is that it opens fully flat, almost like a dahlia. It is a fully flat rose. So it starts out cupped, but it reflexes back and opens fully flat. Again, it's bred by Cortez. So what does that mean? It means that it was bred to not require pesticides. It was bred to be one of those roses that needs very little care in order for it to thrive in your garden. I do know one of my very best friends that lives in a very humid area of the country. This is her favorite rose, hands down. She grows many of them. And it is a rose that requires almost nothing of her. So if you know who that is, you know who that is. So do you want to do our Savannah countdown? All right. We have a lot of these for you. And again, all right out of my garden, planted in estate pots. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is Savannah. And she is such an incredible rose. If you've never grown a rose before, this is one that you should grow. Like, she could not be any easier. And she's also very fragrant. You hardly ever see garden roses that are both extremely fragrant and excellent cut roses, meaning they can stand up in the vase as long as a real florist rose can. Savannah is one of those roses that will stand up in the vase like a florist rose, but also has incredible fragrance. So we love her. We love her. All right. That is Savannah. We love her. We love her. All right. We have a biggie here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at what we have here. So we have a nice amount of this rose. So just FYI, it is Bathsheba, and Savannah is gone. And thank you so much. We might find some more Savannahs in our big area of roses from our garden. So we'll let you know if we do. But right now we had a really nice amount of Savannah. So I'm so happy you guys were able to get them. All right. So this is a big one. As you can see, it is a David Austin and it is a climber. This is a big plant and this is Bathsheba. And if you've been to my house, you know that I had that incredible, huge obelisk in my front yard and I had two Bathsheba climbers on either side. This is a vigorous rose. I'm telling you, you need to have space for this rose. Incredible rose though, and you don't need an arch. So a lot of times people think, oh, it's a climber. I have to invest in an arch. I have to invest in a trellis, a pergola. You can literally get for under $100 an obelisk off of Amazon, or you could grow this on the side of your house with like tension wire and hooks. This is a beautiful rose, but you could also grow it as a shrub. Now, it's going to get big and leggy, but you could cut it back pretty rigorously if you really wanted to grow Bathsheba without any support. So here's Bathsheba. What I can tell you about this rose is that it's a newer climber from David Austin. It's extremely healthy. It loves to bloom. It is the most beautiful peachy apricot color. These are looking a little bit yellow right now, but honestly, like it's peachy apricot, definitely peachy apricot. And just you can tell by the size of the plant, this is going to be a big plant in your garden. So we have actually a really nice amount. It's hardy down to 5, up to 11. I'm looking at the crown right now. I'm guessing it's budded. Again, we don't know when we buy David Austin roses. We don't know if they are budded or own root. That's just not information we know. Until this year, we have a good announcement for you coming up for next year's roses. But this rose, I presume, is budded, and it's also grown by our Butter Bear root grower here in California. And then it was finished at our potted rose grower, grown in my garden since early 2024, late 2023, and now it's ready for you. So, should we do a countdown on Bathsheba? All right, here it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there she is. Oh, I want to show you on Bathsheba these gorgeous side shoots that are coming out on these canes. Another beautiful way to tell that it's going to be a great climber for you are these side shoots. So, gorgeous plant. Beautiful, beautiful plant. I love her. All right. Somebody just said Yves Piaget. Here it is. A couple of you did. All right. So let's go to Yves Piaget. I can't do a live show without talking about Yves Piaget. This is just a little bit of my Yves Piaget. And thank you. Bathsheba is sold out. So thank you. Send pics. Put pics on when you get it and when you see the blooms. So Yves Piaget. So let's talk about Yves Piaget. So Yves Piaget is an incredible rose from Mayonde, and I have grown this rose for over a decade. So it is a rose that we have had in our garden for florists, for us, for over a decade. It's zones 6 through 10, and I think the most memorable thing about Yves Piaget is that it is highly fragrant. This is like the most fragrant garden rose. It's beautiful. It's also a cut rose. So this rose is grown for cut flower production for florists, and it's also an incredible garden rose. Very few roses are both grown in a greenhouse for cuts and in the garden for gardeners. Very few. Like it's literally a handful of roses that fit that classification that are healthy both indoors in a greenhouse and then healthy outside. So Yves Piaget, this is my rose. It is a budded rose, came out of my garden. I expect for them to sell out really quickly, but we should be able to restock this rose in a couple of weeks, as I know I had more than what we put online today. I just didn't see them with my eyes out there. So Yves Piaget, I love this rose. You guys know I love it. I always will grow it. Huge flowers, deeply cupped, very full petaled, and the fragrance is what is all about Yves Piaget. So, and it's zones 6 through 10. All right, should we count down? If you're joining right now, join the conversation and we will help you. any way we can. No, we have not done, Kenzie, the $1 roses yet. We have one coming up though, pretty soon. All right, so East Piaget, should we count down? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yes, Diana, we did have some zone 5. We had a zone 5 rose already, and we should have some more as well. All right. Here's the next one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's pull her down just because she's not in the frame. And you all know East Piaget is sold out. However, I do expect to restock it very soon. So as soon as we find more, we will find. All right. Does everybody know what this rose is? I think you do. It's all dressed up. I talk about this rose all the time because I genuinely adore this rose. I was able to grow this rose a little tiny bit earlier than everyone was when it first came out years ago. And I fell in love with this rose. And this rose actually was sort of an accidental rose for me. So there was a rose that Brian and I grew for floral designers that will remain nameless. But we could never get enough of them for our field, right? We just could not get enough. And it was just a problem because we had high demand for this cotton candy, bubble gum, like true pink, but we could never get enough of this other rose that we loved. So I talked to my grower, which is still our grower to this day. And I said, I need a really good cupped, fragrant, doesn't have to be super fragrant because it's for florists and florists don't care as much as you all do. But we need a really, really beautiful rose that will have long stems, cupped blooms, and beautiful sprays. And they said, here it is. It's all dressed up. So this is all dressed up. It is a grandiflora. And those of you that are in the cold zones are in luck because it is hardy down to zone 4. What I can tell you about this rose is that it is an incredible plant in the garden. So grandiflora is a plant that is basically a classification, a cross between a floribunda, which we know, flori, meaning lots of flowers, and a hybrid tea, meaning big stature, long stems, just beautiful big garden rose. And so a grandiflora is a cross, basically, meaning this plant has the bloom production and the sprays of like a floribunda, but has that stature and the big like health and large just presence in the garden of a hybrid tea. So this is a grandie. They were taken right out of my garden. And you guys know I love this rose. It's one of our absolute best sellers all year long, whether it's potted or bare root, it doesn't matter. This rose is always a winner for our customers and I love it. So these are big. We have a nice amount. I'm looking at them right now and they are every single one of them is this size. Every single one is just about this size. You can see, let me put her down on the ground real fast. You can see that all of these flowers here are on one stem. This is one big spray. Here's a spray and here's a spray. So you can cut really long stems with this rose. I absolutely adore this rose. I tell Christian every single time I see him, I see Christian Bedard a few times a year, and I always remind him of how much I love All Dressed Up. It's one of his absolute best roses he's ever bred. And I guess we'll do a countdown on it, right? Yeah. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yes, they are budded. This rose is always budded. This is a budded rose. It's not an own root rose. There it is. Wonderful, all dressed up. I genuinely adore this rose. So, all right, we have a $1 rose. As soon as we're done with all dressed up. Uh-oh. Yay. Okay. So I chose this rose based upon your comments last week. So last Thursday's show, at the very end, we asked you guys like what you'd like to see. And I went out to the nursery on Monday and I walked around and I said, okay, for my $1 segment this week, I got to get them a climber. And we actually don't have that many of these. All Dressed Up is sold out. Thank you. We don't have that many of these. So this isn't like an overstock issue, like where we're offering it for $1 because we have so many. We really actually don't have that many and we have high demand on this rose. But it is $1. It is zones 5 through 10. And if you know, it is Mayon's Colette. And it is such an incredible rose. Jenny's not quite ready to start the $1. So as soon as she's ready, I'll let you guys know. So this is Colette. And let me tell you where it came from. So when Heidi joined us in the spring of 2025, she and I had about, I don't know, thousands and thousands of plugs planted at the nursery. And this is one of those roses. So we got plugs from our plug grower here in Central California. And this rose was put in this 1 gallon last spring. So spring of 25. So it's been in this gallon for a full year. As you can see, it's ready to go. It's nice and branchy. It's throwing nice long canes and it's got a cute bud. Are you ready? Okay, we're ready for Colette, and we have, this is a $1 rose. So just so you guys know, it's a $1. Are we ready? Ready? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go for Colette for $1. Such a pretty rose. This is like the perfect cottage rose. It's so wonderful. Amazing rose. Over at the nursery, they've got Colette around their cottage garden, like spilling over their picket fence. So beautiful. So spilly. Absolutely gorgeous rose from Mayon. So there it is, Colette. You guys asked for a climber, and some people specifically said Colette. I saw Colette in there. And so that's why I chose this rose for you. So I hope you all are happy that I was able to get some Colettes for $1. So there we go. I love Colette. Such a good one. Okay, what's next? All right. We are putting up, oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. All right. So, Evelyn is going to be next after we do some cut roses. And so let's just talk about Evelyn for a second. I thought that all of my Evelyn roses were gone, but then when Ryan and I were pulling for the show this week, we found another Evelyn, and here it is. Are we going to do cuts first, though? Okay. So we can just look at Evelyn for a minute while we do the cut rose bouquets. Here she is with her rose, with her flower, smelling like her beautiful self. And maybe I'll find another Evelyn. I can't promise you that I will, but we have about 3,000 roses out there that are all just in lines, like 3 of this, 5 of this, 12 of this, 14 of this, whatever. And we just happened to run into another Evelyn this last week. So, all right. Okay, let's look at the cut roses for a second, and then we'll get to Evelyn. I think you guys are going to have to be really fast on Evelyn, and I'm so sorry. I apologize in advance. All right, so last week we did cut roses, and one of the things that we saw in the comments was that you really wanted bundles. So you wanted to be able to get like 2 varieties instead of 1 variety. So I want to remind everyone that these are buy now, ship now, or you can message our moderators and schedule your delivery out 30 days to get the same price. So this vase has 30 stems. So this is like what you would be getting. And these do come with free shipping. So this bouquet here is David Austin Juliet and Princess Hitomi. And Princess Hitomi is one of our incredible Japanese roses. She has the most amazing vase life, beautiful form. I think she's mildly fragrant. Some people say she's not fragrant at all. To me, she's pretty mildly fragrant, but she has incredible base life. Awesome, awesome, awesome base life. And she is one of the superstar roses at Alexander Farms that we're able to offer you. And we got a really good price this week. So Princess Hitomi and Juliet, they're $99 bundled, free shipping, and you can either have them shipped right now, which is the default. We will go ahead and ship those roses to you Friday morning or Saturday morning for 2-day arrival. Just depends on volume with the farm. So you'll get them Monday or Tuesday, or you can message our mods and our mods will schedule them out for you up to 30 days. Our other bundle is Juliet and Kira. And we looked at Kira last week, and we'll talk about Kira one more time. Kira is one of the most fragrant David Austin wedding roses, actually. It is got that like myrrh fragrance, and I really love it. Morgan, do you like Kira? Yeah. So Kira, one of the things about Kira that's so unique is that like Juliet was bred for every single head to look the same, right? It has that incredible uniformity. So whether you get Juliet like from me or you get Juliet from another grower, Juliet has that incredible uniformity. It was bred for that. Kira is one of those roses that from David Austin that every single head looks slightly different. So sometimes you'll get a bunch of Kira that has more white, and sometimes you'll get a dozen Kira or a bunch of Kira that has more pink. Sometimes the pink can be really remarkable on the outside petals, and sometimes it'll be very, very pale. But it's one of those roses that like truly actually looks garden grown versus greenhouse grown because every single head is slightly different. It's sort of the same as Constance. Constance is the exact same thing. Edith also does that, where because they're multicolored roses, because they have multiple hues, you get that like true garden grown look from them because of, oh my gosh, they smell so good. Because they're very individual looking. Unlike Juliet, which is an amazing quality, and Juliet has that really beautiful uniformity in every single bloom. So hopefully we'll be able to have some Constance for you guys soon. I know I saw in my DMs and I saw in the messages that you really want a deal on Constance. So we just have to time that up with the farm on when they have enough Constance to be able to give us a deal. But I know you all really want Constance. And if there are any other cut roses that you really want a deal on, put them in the comments here so that we can offer them to you for our show. So name them and we will see what we can do. So yeah. Millicent, I know. Millicent's beautiful. Holly's Hope. Okay. Ooh, James Galloway. James Galloway's a garden rose, not a florist, but that's okay. Holly's Hope. Everybody loves Holly's Hope. Piano. Piano is grown in such small quantities. First of all, it's not like a high production rose, and it's grown mostly for like the holidays, but we love piano. All right. You guys love red piano. Wow. Silk garment. You want silk garment on here. Wow. How old are the 2-gallon plants in the shop right now? So they are, if it's a budded rose, it's 2 year. If it's own root, it's 1 year. So own root roses in the field are grown for 1 year after the time that they're propagated in the greenhouse, and budded roses are grown for 2 years. But they come out of the ground at the same time. It's just different cultivation. So we are going to skip Evelyn, not skip. We're just going to hold Evelyn for like 5 minutes because we're just doing a little technical with her, and we're going to go to a different David Austin. Is that correct? Okay. We're going to go to a different David Austin, a David Austin that's pretty much as well coveted as Evelyn. Okay, here it is. She's a woody girl, by the way. She's a woody girl. Or he, her, I don't know. This is Bosco Bell. So David Austin Bosco Bell, beautiful rose. And mine are quite woody. So if you get this rose, you're going to see that it's got a lot of wood at the base of it. I've had this rose for maybe 3-4 years, and it came to me as a 2-year-old rose. So Bosco Bell is one of the most fragrant David Austins, and is hardy down to 5, up to 11. So hardy down to 5, up to 11. I believe this is a budded rose, but again, we don't know with the David Austins right now if they are budded or own root, but we believe this one is budded. Incredible rose. Oh my gosh, I know. I love this rose. This is another one that is a little bit scarce in the rose world. I believe some years Boscobel has nice amounts, and other years Boscobel is really, really hard to get. And so Boscobel is one that, oh my gosh, this rose repeats really well. And it also is a heat lover. If you've ever been to the nursery that we are associated with, you've seen the huge mass of Boscobel right when you walk into the rose garden. This rose loves the heat. It just churns them out. As far as it being partially or at all shade tolerant, you all know, if you've been here for a while, you know how I feel about shade and roses. I have tried to grow roses in the shade or in only like less than 6 hours of sun, and it is problematic. It can definitely be difficult. Roses will tend to stretch their canes and reach for the sun if they are not getting the sun that they need. They will actually grow these like long shoots that reach to the sun. So should we do a countdown on Boscobel? And just in fair warning, I'm going to tell you, we only have a few of these. I might have some more in my collection that we may find in future weeks, but today this is a really limited one. So my apologies in advance. But this is Boscobel. So should we go? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's Boscobel. Yay. Hi, cutie. All right. I'm assuming Boscobel is gone because we only had a few. So I'm just going to say they're probably gone. All right. And thank you so much. All right. So this one is going to be really fast introduction because we sold this rose last week and I just happened to find another in the garden. I think we only have 2 this week. So I'm going to sneeze. Whoa. And it is Martha Stewart. So if you were here last week, you know that I was able to get some Martha plants about a year in advance of when they went on sale for the public. So I had this rose in my garden a little bit early, which I was so thankful to be able to have. And actually, I've learned that our growers here in California were really instrumental in bringing this rose to market with Star Roses and Plants and with Martha Stewart herself. And we couldn't be happier about it. So we still have Martha available on our website as an estate rose. Although once she's gone this year, she's gone for good. Jenny, would you be able to tell us like how many Martha we have left as estate roses? When you have a second, I just want to let them know because this is going to go fast. And once we run out of, oh, Martha's gone. Oh, okay. I guess Martha is sold out on our website. It wasn't as of like a week ago. So, Martha Stewart, we won't have any more until bare root season. And then next year we'll have potted again. Oh, no. Sorry. We have 144 left. Okay. Sorry, guys. We have 144 Martha Stewart estate roses left in the same size. So if you missed this one, maybe go after the estate one. And we also have a big sale starting this weekend. So be on the lookout. So we'll see. Not specifically on Martha, but on roses. So here's Martha. Should we do the countdown for Martha? Not yet? Okay. Just a minute. Martha is 5 through 11. Exactly. She's beautiful. Martha chose a really beautiful rose for herself. And I know she had a very strong hand in the choices that were presented to her. Oh, yes, Kirsten, she's very fragrant. Very, very, very fragrant. And her blooms get to be about 5 inches, very full, cupped. When they're fully open, they like lose their cup and they open out fully. But she starts out very cupped. Yeah. Erica says she had a Martha Stewart meets Snoop Dogg themed wedding. Holly says Martha's her favorite in her garden right now. That's amazing. Awesome. I love Martha too. It's a beautiful rose. It's an absolutely beautiful rose. So Vase life is really good. So actually, okay, this rose is another one of those roses bred by Mayond that is an incredible cut flower. So I was actually in the Netherlands last year, and they had this huge bouquet of Martha Stewart. It actually has a different name in France. It's not Martha Stewart, but they had this huge bouquet. It was just absolutely amazing. It has a really, really good vase life. I'm sure those were greenhouse grown because it was like winter time, but it's a beautiful rose and amazing cut flower. Awesome cut flower. All right, 5, 4. Yes, she's a repeat bloomer. 3, 2, 1. Jean de la Fontaine. That's correct, Catherine. Yes, I just didn't want to confuse people. Thing is like, what is it, Martha? Jean de la Fontaine? She's gorgeous. So, you ready, Jenny? There she is. Ooh, Jeremy says he wishes they'd make Martha in a tree. Yeah, I know. Same. Same. Yeah. All right. Did that sell out already? Yeah. Okay. It sold out immediately because we only had a couple. All right. Ready for the next one? Okay. The next one, again, please don't be mad. We only have a very, very tiny amount. So this is J'adore, the last one that I think that I have in my garden. I'm pretty sure it's the last one. And you can see it's really woody down inside. So this is an older plant that I've had for a few years. It's a florist rose from the Netherlands, and it's discontinued at Grace Rose Farm. So we just decided that we would offer them to you. So Phyllis says, why put limited roses on a live show? That's exactly why, because they're limited. And we have a good mix, though. We have a mix of roses that we have a lot of quantity of, and we have some roses that are very small quantity. All right, ready, Jenny? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's it. There goes J'adore. Okay. So cute. Great fragrance. Long base life. All the things. Okay. All right. That was J'adore. We have another David Austin. It's not in a David Austin pot, but it was a rose dug up from my garden, and this is Queen of Sweden. And I know people love this rose. Whoop, she shattered on me. Got an old bloom here. This is Queen of Sweden, and let's talk about Queen of Sweden for just a second. So Queen of Sweden is one of those incredible David Austins that's very upright, but she's not a climber. In my zone, this rose has grown to be like 8-10 feet tall. However, it's better to like keep her cut back. She'll bloom more. She's an incredible bloomer, and she makes actually a really pretty hedge. If you keep her cut back to about 4 feet, she will be a really, really nice hedge for you. This rose has the sweetest little blooms. Now they're small. They are smaller blooms. They're about 2 inches. And it is definitely one of those roses that is more of like a shell pink. Here's a bud on Queen of Sweden, and it actually is like more of a shell, like peachy color. But then when it opens, it is like ballet blush. So it starts out like a shell pink and then opens as ballet blush. It is hardy down to zone 5. I know the form is so pretty on this rose. Hardy down to zone 5. And one of the things I really love about Queen of Sweden, honestly, is its foliage. Her foliage is so pretty. Her leaves are round. They're like oval shaped. They're not pointy like most roses. It has the prettiest foliage. I always recommend for this rose, don't strip all your foliage off of this rose. Leave your foliage. Obviously, the foliage that is below the waterline of your vase, take off, but leave the top leaves. They're so pretty. They add so much charm to your roses. So should we do Queen of Sweden? And again, guys, I only have a few of these. That's why we're doing it on the live show. We just have a few. So, and they came right out of our garden. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's Queen of Sweden. She's got some new shoots on her too. She's pushing new shoots out of her, like new breaks out of her older canes at the bottom. She looks great. Beautiful plant. Gorgeous. Okay. So we have another florist rose. And this florist rose here is Royal Park. And we have a few of these. So we have a nice little amount of Royal Park. And that's what you just saw up close was Royal Park. This is a florist rose from the Netherlands. And we offered this rose to you all several years ago, and I had them in my garden, and now we are no longer growing Royal Park. It's a rose that's like retired from Grace Rose Farm, so I figured, you know what, let's add Royal Park to the mix for the live show. I only have a few of them, but again, I do see requests for florist roses all the time, and it's not a rose that we're going to put on our website, so I thought perfect opportunity to offer it here. It does bloom in sprays, as you can see. Blooms in beautiful sprays, and the vase life is like next level because it's a spray rose. Fragrance is going to be very limited or none at all on this, or it's just going to have like a clean, fresh scent. But what is so pretty about this rose is its form. It just has that like beautiful garden rose form, and it will repeat for you. So it'll repeat bloom starting in the spring all the way through up to first frost. So Royal Park, it's a Dutch florist rose. I can't tell you if it's going to be for particular zones because we don't zone our florist roses, but it is a budded rose, and it is the lightest. I wouldn't even call it like butter. I would say it's more like canary, like super, super, super light yellow. Very, very, very light. More of like a cream than a yellow. Here's a bloom that's like starting out. And it's definitely not yellow. It's more cream. So cute, right? Has a fresh, clean scent, but not like a deep rose fragrance. All right. All right, guys. So should we count down? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's Royal Park. And again, we only had a few. And that's it on this one. And Grace Rose Farm's not offering it anymore. It is already discontinued. We're not propagating this rose anymore. So this is like a last chance kind of situation from us to get this rose. And it is a very heavy estate size. Christy, they are all in these 5 gallons unless otherwise noted. Estate size. Yeah. All right. The next rose that we're looking at, and the one you just saw the video of, is Eustacia Vi. I don't know if I say this rose right. So every time I say it, I'm like, am I saying it correctly? Am I not saying it correctly? I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's Eustacia Vi. And this is an incredible cut flower. This rose, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think this is David Austin's best bred outdoor garden rose, but for cut flower production. The flowers on this rose are so dense and so long lasting. and fragrant. It has like that staying power on the plant, both in the garden and then in the vase, like almost like a florist rose, but it is a garden rose. It is a more compact plant. So my plants, when they were like full size, they were about 3.5-ish feet, maybe 4. It stays really compact though. This is not going to get to be big like James Galway or Evelyn or Lady of Shalott. This is a more compact rose. It could be great in a container, like a 20-inch garden pot. But the best thing about this rose, well, obviously, besides its like adorable pink color, obviously, is that it's an incredible cut flower. So if you're looking for roses specifically for cut flower production, you want to have a garden that you can cut from and bring the roses in, and they aren't going to shatter in one day. This is an incredible rose for that. So we don't have very many, just FYI, but this is straight out of my garden. And I had it in my garden since like late 2023, and it was dug up just this last winter, and it's now ready for you. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Eustacia. Or somebody correct me if I'm saying it wrong. And thank you for Royal Park. That sold out really fast. So Eustacia, love her. Such a good cut flower. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, 3, 2, 1, back on. Okay. All right, guys. So back on. Here's Evelyn. Now I'm going to say her name right. Evelyn. I know we all say Evelyn. I think that this rose is this rose and Francis Mayon, I believe, until we collect more Grace Rose Farm exclusives like Heloise, are the roses most associated with Grace Rose Farm. Because you know that Ryan and I have grown so many Evelyn for florists. This rose, Princess Charlene de Monaco, and also like Dee Dee and Coco and Francis. So Evelyn, I only have one. I am so sorry. Here it is. Should we do the countdown? And it's straight out of my garden. She's got buds on her. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she's going to be gone like in a second. And I'm sorry. Hopefully we are able to get more Evelyn in future years. I really, really hope so, because there's such high demand for that rose. So we'll keep you guys up to date on that if we're able to get more. So, and thank you. Thank you. We shipped, whoever got Evelyn last week, we had 5 Evelyn last week. They have been shipped out and they are gone. And hopefully they are in your garden or already to your house. So we had 5 last week though. All right. The rose that you are looking at now is another discontinued florist rose from Grace Rose Farm. I thought I had dug these all out and sent them to my besties. So I've got some rose besties that really wanted this rose, and I went and dug some out of I did not dig them out. Fermine dug them out of my garden, and we sent them off to our rose besties in the last year because we discontinued this rose. We're not propagating it. We're not doing anything with this rose anymore. But somehow I found another one in our big rose lot over at the nursery. And so this is Bloomsbury. She is a Dutch florist rose. She, I think, is probably the last one that I have. And we are sending her off to a home. I only have one. So good luck with Bloomsbury. We're going to get to her right after our $1 segment. We have another $1 segment right now. So get ready for Bloomsbury, but just fair warning, I have one plant. You are looking at it here. So whoever wins Bloomsbury this is your rose right here. And this rose has an incredible vase life. All right. Should we do our $1 segment? Okay. So we have a little surprise. So a couple days ago, I said to my teammates, Jenny and Heidi, I said, most of our Facebook group has my book already. They all own my book, but maybe there are people that don't own my book and would love to own my book and get a book from me that's signed. So typically on our website, my book is $45 signed, but we have my book today for $1. And we have a nice amount of them, over a dozen. And it's $1. It is my book that came out in 2024, and I will sign it. And so this is one of our $1 segments. And I'm so excited we can do this. It's $1 plus shipping. I don't know what our regular shipping is on our book, but whatever our normal shipping is for our book is what you'll pay. So are we ready? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's $1. Unbelievable. My publisher would probably cringe if they knew that I was doing this, but that's okay. I want more people to be able to get this book. Here's an idea. I'm sure it's already sold out, but if you already have my book, but you want to get another one, or you're lucky enough to get the $1, you could literally cut out the full pages and frame some of them. Just an idea, because the photography is so gorgeous in this book. This is Georgia. Oh, speaking of, there's Eustasia. This is Georgiana Lane's photo. Oh, and by the way, sitting across from me, this beautiful redhead, Morgan did the cover with me. So Morgan and I, Morgan did it. Morgan did the cover. I just sort of orchestrated what I wanted. But this is Morgan's floral design on the cover of my book. And then it was shot by our friend Marcy. But Morgan is the florist who designed the cover of my book. So, and lots of the arrangements on the inside as well. I think we have like 15 arrangements that Morgan designed as well. So I'm sure the book is gone. Is it gone? Yes, it's gone. So for those of you that were able to get my book for $1, I'll get those signed this weekend for you. Let us know if you don't want it signed to you, if you're giving it to someone. That way I don't write like, Dear Jenny, and you're going to give it away. But yeah, there you go. My book for $1. There you go. Thanks, guys. Ready? Okay. We only have one. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. This is most likely the very last one that I have in my garden. Like I said, I thought I dug these all up and gave them to my girlfriends because everybody was like, you're discontinuing Bloomsbury? Can I have it? And I sent a bunch off to girlfriends. But and if you're one of those people, you know who you are. However, we found one in our huge lot of roses over at the nursery. So we have one Bloomsbury plant. I cannot tell you anything about this rose, like for cultivation. It's a florist rose. I can't guarantee it by zones or anything like that. This is purely a collectible rose for people that love the florist roses. And this one is called Bloomsbury. So here it is. Should we do it? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's Bloomsbury. I know April's here trying to get this rose. All right. I want to know who got her. We'll see. All right. The next one right out of my garden is Earth Angel. And you guys were asking for more cold zone roses. So this is zone 5. Earth Angel, believe it or not, is our best-selling rose at Grace Rose Farm. And I think it's a lot of rose companies' best-selling rose. It just has a beautiful name, beautiful form, beautiful light fragrance. It's just one of those roses that's incredibly popular. But these were right out of my garden. This is an own root rose. So you're not going to see, like on the Francis roses, they're like really, really, really woody and big and beefy. This is a more slender, a little bit like thinner rose. It does have nice thick canes at the base that are about as thick as my thumb, but it is own root. So it's going to be a little bit more petite rose. But this is Earth Angel. It's loaded in buds. It's got buds all over it. Straight out of my garden, and we have a very nice amount of these, and we also may have more. This is a Cortez rose, so let's talk about that again one more time with the Cortez roses. So the Cortez roses are bred to be disease resistant. It is not legal to use pesticides in Germany with breeding of roses. So Cortez roses are notoriously known in a good way, not in a bad way, to be very, very disease resistant and healthy and low maintenance and just like easy to grow. And Earth Angel is absolutely no exception to that. It's part of the Parfuma line, which means it's fragrant. I don't find intense fragrance in this rose. I find more of like a clean powder, like fresh laundry, fresh linen smell. It is a state size. I'm going to sneeze from sniffing that rose. Watch. But it's hardy down to zone 5 and up to 10. And we have a very nice amount for you. I promise you that. So thank you. Thank you for saying bless you. So here it is. Should we do a countdown on Earth Angel? Okay. And we might be able to restock this. We'll see. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's Earth Angel. So pretty. Yes? Again?
It's supposed to be a staple.
Oh, okay. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Yes, Crimty Candy, it is a state size. Yes. And it's older because it came out of my garden. It is. Okay. The next one is Francis Mayond again. So we've found a few more Francis. Thank you to everyone for Earth Angel. We found a few more Francis in my big stockpile of roses out at the nursery, and we put them on the show this week, even though we had a really nice amount last week and they sold out really quickly. But we have Francis again. Ignore the smaller pot. Brian just is showing us the one that we showed earlier. We have Francis Mayon budded. It's a 2-year budded rose, but it was in my garden for 2 years. So it's more like a 4-year-old plant. And you saw them on the show last week, and we found a few more of them for you. So we've got just a few, and who knows, I might find more in our big area, but for now we found a few more. So should we put Francis on? Not yet? Okay. Francis is going to be in an estate pot. Danielle, the difference is the one that we showed first is a 2-gallon rose that is a 2-year-old budded rose that was just budded this year, or not, sorry, just potted up this year. The 2 or 3 that we have of Francis from my garden are older plants. They're 4-year-old plants, and we have a couple more. Ready? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yes, Francis is amazing for flower arrangements. Amazing, 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 amazing. One of the best. All right. Okay. We have another, Gabrielle, we had some $1 roses already at the beginning, and we still have another one. So not to worry. Okay. We have a rose here that Ryan and I have trucked across multiple properties. Now, those of you that win this rose today are able to get it, you're going to notice these are extraordinarily woody. Like, these are woody like you cannot imagine. You are going to see their age. This is the Dark Lady from David Austin, and these are old roses. I'm going to put that out there right now. We had these at our farm in 2017 in Santa Ynez, and we brought them down to our farm here, and they were dug up from our farm here and potted up from the nursery. These are old plants. These are 10-year-old, basically 10-year-old, because we planted them new in 2017, and they were 2-year-old budded roses at that point. So these are about 10 years old. So you're going to see a lot of wood, a lot of wood. They're cut back so that they could grow, the roots and everything in the pot. But you will see when you look at the top of the plants, when you receive these, and we have a very nice amount. I will preface that as well. A very, very, very nice amount. They are all wood. So woody. Okay. Dark Lady is a more rarely grown David Austin. It's super, super dark color, big, huge flowers, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is a thorny one from David Austin, very fragrant. And we did grow this for cut flower production for florists. So this is a dark fuchsia that we grew for florists when we used to grow for florists. The best thing I can tell you about this rose is that it does form a nice shrub. It does not get leggy and big. It doesn't want to climb. It's much more of a shrub, but it is thorny. It is hardy from 5 to 11. And yes. So Beth, are you signing the ones coming out of your garden? Yes. We did sign the pots this last week, but the marker was like coming off pretty quick. So we put a sticker with a note on each pot for everyone that received roses this last week. So there's a sticker on the pot that I wrote a note and signed. So the marker was coming off. Even the Sharpie and nursery markers, they weren't staying on. So very fragrant, very big. And I just want to put it out there that this, if you're able to get this rose, it is a 10-year-old plant. It doesn't mean that it's dying anytime soon. Nothing like that. I mean, look at this thing is loaded. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 buds on this 10-year-old plant. So it doesn't mean that it's like going to expire anytime soon or like die or anything like that. But you will see when you receive these at the top of the plant, at the top of the soil, they are very woody. It's all wood with canes coming out of the wood. So it's a very mature plant. So there you go. All right, should we do it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And yes, Kendra, we will defoliate them before we ship them, just like all of our other roses. We defoliate everything that we ship, except for like tumbleweed and maybe a couple others that have a really tiny micro foliage. So this is an old rose. And I've got some others coming up in future shows that are also pushing 10 years old. So just so you know, this plant was, obviously bought from David Austin, planted on our Santa Ynez farm for a few years, and then planted here in Somis. And so this plant has moved around, but I planted all of them that went on sale today in 2017. Every single one of them was planted in 2017. So there you go. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Is this what I think it is? It is. Yes, it is. Okay. So we had her online on our show last week. However, I found another one. It's not in a David Austin pot, which is why I didn't see it last week, because all of the Princess Alex of Kent that I pulled last week were in the green David Austin pot. But then when we were at the nursery pulling roses this week, I was like, there's another Princess Alex of Kent. So I think we have a couple of these. And so Princess Alex of Kent, amazing David Austin rose. One thing I always like to warn people about this rose is that she likes to do this. So climbers like to do this, right? She grows outward. So you see her canes here? She's very much growing this way. She will grow that way in your garden as well. She will grow upward. She'll have a nice full top, but she grows outward. She's a sprawling, big English shrub rose. What? So give her space. Do not crowd her. Let her spread her canes out and give her the space that she needs. She's a beautiful rose. So she is a David Austin. So should we do her? Yes? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the roses, Samantha, are all buy now, ship now. Buy now, ship now. Did you do this one, Jenny? Yeah. Oh, it's not even in. I don't even see it. It was that fast. Okay. Ready? All right. Okay, another florist rose. So we just have a couple of these. This is Unforgettable, the florist rose. Again, same situation as the last florist roses that we've offered throughout the show today. This rose is discontinued from Grace Rose Farm. It is not being grown anymore. We're not propagating them. And so I have found some of these florist roses in my stockpiles of roses. So I'm offering them to you from my garden to your garden. So Unforgettable, it is a florist rose, and it is one, aw, it is one that we won't ever be offering again. So, ready? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, and oh, this rose holds up really, really well. It does, yeah. It's a great florist rose. It's a great one. We sold a lot of them when we were doing florist roses. Steffi got her. Wow. All right. Awesome. Congrats. Okay. Oh my gosh. Here's a one. A big one. This is what I think it is? Yeah. Okay. Congrats, Steffi. Remember with this the lives, we have some roses that we have really nice quantities of, and then we have some that are super, super, super limited that we're just not putting on our website because we're not selling on our website anymore. So, yes. Can you guys confirm somebody got the Princess Alex of Kent? Yes. Okay. All right. Ready? Okay. This one is a rose that I really, really love, and I've had in my garden for a long time, and it is Betty White. So this is a rose that is budded. This is a budded rose. You can see how thick and big this plant is. You can see her here. This plant gets very, very, very big. Very big. So you guys need to just give her space. She's a big hybrid tea. In France, she's called Andre Le Norte. Let me show you how big these plants are. And she's one of the most fragrant, one of the largest big cupped blooms, big, huge cupped blooms. And she's one that, truthfully, we are hoping to be able to have this rose in really nice quantities for you as a budded rose in future years, because I love this rose so much. So we have a very small amount, not super small amount, actually. We have a nice amount of this rose, and I'm hoping that whoever gets them really has wanted this rose and loves it. So, ready? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's Betty White. I love her. She's so beautiful. Such a gorgeous rose. Look at that photo of me holding that bouquet. Those were all from these plants. That bouquet of me holding, the picture of me holding Betty White is from these actual plants right here. So. Okay, we're going to just go back to the cut roses for a minute. If you're just joining us, I'm sorry, Thuy. And we are looking at Royal Porcelina. So we're going to do Royal Porcelina after we talk about the cut roses again. And this is another one of my roses from my garden. And we have a nice little amount of her for you. So back to the cut roses quickly. We have 2 different bundles. We have Juliet with Princess Hitomi, and this is a 30 stem bundle. So this is like what it would actually look like. between the two roses. And then we have Juliet and Kira as another 30 stem bundle. And both of them include free shipping. Look at this head of Juliet. It's like perfectly cupped. So pretty, so different. And these are buy now, ship now. So if you want them, they will ship out from the farm tomorrow or Saturday. They're shipped really, really quick, and you get them early next week. And then if you don't want them right now, you can schedule them out 30 days. So you can do that. And Tricia says she needs a $1 bouquet. Oh, I know. I wish. Can we include the zones? Yeah, we've been mentioning the zones as I'm talking about them. The only ones we don't talk about zones is the florist roses, because we just can't give you a zone on florist roses because they're not bred for the garden. So their florist roses are just kind of one of those things. Wren, yes, we have another rose for $1, and it's actually quite a few roses each time we do it that we offer for the $1. What is a florist rose? Vanna says. So a florist rose is a rose that was bred for greenhouse production. So usually bred in the Netherlands or Germany or France, and they're bred for greenhouse production for commercial growers. However, several years ago, I went on this quest to bring florist roses to the garden for gardeners, and nobody had ever done that before, like in the rose world. And so we offered about 100 different varieties of florist roses, including this one and all the other ones that we've talked about so far. And we have retired them because we're moving on to other roses, and some of them will be florist roses. That's just part of it. So we're talking about retired florist roses, but essentially they're roses that were bred for the greenhouse. So they weren't bred to withstand outdoor conditions. However, we have found, because this rose here, Royal Porcelina, we'll talk about next, has been growing in my garden for like 4 years. So perfectly fine in the garden, right? Big, beefy, chunky plant, grows just fine in the garden. Other florist roses may not grow so great in the garden, but we've tried not to offer those. So, yeah. All right. Are we ready? Okay. So Royal Porcelina, we have a nice amount. This is a spray rose. It is a true spray rose. So it only blooms in sprays. This rose will not bloom in singles. It does not bloom in singles. It's not fragrant. I mean, at least not memorably. It has a clean kind of florist rose smell. It's not like a deep rose smell. However, it is a great filler rose. If it goes really well with your like larger headed roses. If you have like a big rose like Princess Charlene, and then you have like your spray rose, it's very, very pretty. For those of you, a lot of our customers already grow this rose because we sold thousands of them in prior years, and it grows really, really well, both in the container or the ground. And we have quite a few of them. We have quite a few. So ready for that? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's Royal Porcelina from the Netherlands. Steve says it's disease resistant in Florida. That's great. That's it. I'm fast.
So are we good with that? We're going to go back
Yeah. Yep.
class and then we're going to box.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right. We have another one that we had last week, but somehow I found more in the garden. So in our pile of our roses, big area of roses. It started blooming and I noticed it. So this is Meredith. And we talked about Meredith last week. We had a nice amount of Meredith, and we just have a few Meredith left. So Meredith is a rose that we weren't able to get for you this last year, but fortunately I have some in my garden and they're here today. So we have a few Meredith. Meredith is an incredible cool toned rose. So it's very cool toned. It is not a warm toned pink. Let's see. Let me do it. And she has the prettiest pale, 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 pale pink blooms. She's pretty highly sought, and she's very fragrant. Fragrance is a 10 out of 10 on her. She's very highly sought after, I think because of her color and also her like scarcity. She's just not one that we have ever had very many of. However, I hope that we will have more of her in the future. So, okay, ready? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carolyn got Meredith last week. It was shipped with so much care, and I think she says she loves it. Something like that. The comments went so fast I couldn't see it. But yes. And so, yes, so somebody asked earlier, am I signing the pots? So I began signing all the pots last week, and the marker wasn't dark enough. I got like a silver marker, so we put beautiful, not beautiful. We put stickers on the pots that I signed instead. So that way you guys know it came from my garden. So Meredith is sold out. I only had a few, and I'm glad that we were able to have them for you. All right. We have another $1 rose. So that better be Bolero. It is not Bolero. However, Kendra, I looked for Bolero to do for a $1 segment, and they weren't ready. So actually, I'm going to look for Bolero for next week's $1 segment. So just FYI, I am going to look for Bolero. But this is Earth Angel. So we had my Earth Angel out of the garden, and then we have these adorable 1 gallon Earth Angel. This one has 5 canes on it. Again, this plant here was started in spring of 2025, grown true to type by our plug grower here in California, and then grown outdoors, exclusively outdoors for the last year at our nursery partners. And it is Earth Angel, and we have a nice amount of them. I think it's a really generous amount for $1. And are you ready? Are we ready? How old was my Earth Angel earlier? Well, we had them in the garden for at least 2 years, and it was probably a year old when we got it. So I'm guessing it's like a 3 to 4 year old plant. Yeah. Earth Angel goes down to 5, I believe. Down to 5. Okay, ready? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Earth Angel for $1. We have a nice amount, and I know some of you that got this rose last week for the $1 sale, and you've already received them and you're happy with them. So here it is again, little cutie. Ready? Ready, steady. Somebody got one. Thygo. Good. Okay. Do we have a lot of these left, Jenny? Not a lot. Okay. So we're going to just go back one more time to Francis Mayond. Wait, Gracie says, are the 2 gallon Francis, oh my gosh, it's moving so fast. Are the 2 gallon Francis budded or own root? They are budded. Francis is always budded from Grace Rose Farm, at least. Francis Mayond does the best budded. It does not do as well as own root on its own root. So this is a budded rose. It's a 2-year budded rose. We are getting toward the end of the show, so make sure you check out before the end of the show, especially if you have one of the bouquets or have Francis or raspberry cupcake, because they'll go back to their other original prices after. So let's just go over this rose one more time. From the can up, it looks just like one of our estate roses. It's big. It's the same exact age. If you were to go on our website right now and put Francis Mayond in your cart from an estate rose, so the about $100 rose, it is the exact same rose as in this can. Exact same age, exact same everything. Except the only difference is that we were able to get such a great deal on these, and we were able to plant them in these smaller pots with less soil to give you a better deal and give us a better deal. So that is the only difference. This is the same age, the same exact plant, started at the same time as our estate Francis Mayons, not the ones that came out of my garden, but the regular estate Francis Mayons on our website. This is the exact same plant. So let's just look at the bottom. I'm going to pull a little bit of foliage off so we can see the wood on this plant. See how big and woody. Can they see from there how big and woody they are? Like the canes on this are double the thickness of my thumb. Big, beautiful budded rose. It's just that it's in a smaller container than our normal estate rose. And that's the only difference. So you save a little bit of money on shipping. We save on soil volume. My best advice for this rose, let me just tell you, is as soon as you get it, get it in the ground. It doesn't want to be in this tiny little pot anymore. Not that it's tiny. It's not a 1 gallon, but put it in the ground as soon as possible because this thing has got roots. I'm going to do something that I probably shouldn't do, but let me just do it anyway because we're at the end of the show. So let's just do it. She's going to pull it out and look at the roots. So can she do it? Can she do it? Yep, here it comes. Here it comes. All right, so let's look at her. So this plant, according to Heidi, said, we need to get these to our customers as soon as possible because they are going to outgrow their pots. Do you see all that root mass around the edge of the pot? Is there root on the bottom, guys? Oh, yeah? See it? It's heavy. All that root mass all the way around. So these are ready to go in the ground. So the minute you get them home, pull them out of their pots and get them in the ground and it is going to explode. It's ready to come out of this pot. If it was in our estate pot, it would have like a little bit more time left to be able to be in the pot and not struggle. But this smaller pot really needs to go in the ground. Not the pot in the ground, but the plant in the ground as soon as you get it. So just remember to check out before the end of the show in order to secure that pricing. And all of these are buy now, ship now. They're ready to go. Every single one of them is ready to go. In fact, Ryan, we have a couple more of these out there, or at least one. Can we see another one just so I can show them that like they're continuous or their continuity of them? They all look like this. They're all big. They're all beautiful. And we got an incredible deal on them. So I'm so excited that you can get basically an estate rose, estate age, estate size, just for less money because it's in a little bit smaller pot, which just means that you need to get it in the ground as fast as possible and then we'll take off. We have less than 20 of these left and then they're sold out. So that's really exciting. And you guys know I love this source. Here comes Ryan with another one. What? He says the pot's not clean. I don't care. Doesn't matter. All right, so here's another one. So we brought two home, and you can see, same thing, like big, beautiful plant, big, thick cane. Look at this big, giant, thick cane. This is what you're getting. So beautiful Francis Mayon, 2-year budded plant. The only difference between this plant and the ones that we have on our website for $100 in the estate pot is the pot. The pot is just a smaller volume, so there's less soil, which means this plant just needs to get planted in the ground or in a bigger pot, like a 20-inch, as soon as possible. So exciting, right? Just one more time is raspberry cupcake. It's the exact same age as our estate raspberry cupcakes on our website. This one is just the same thing in a smaller pot. This rose's own root. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm probably going to regret this, but sometimes we regret. And they're also very limited at this price. Oh boy, probably making a mistake here. Yeah, there's lots of root. Ryan, can you help me? Just pick up the pot. I want to show them the roots just so they can see how much root there is on these.